Yeah.
Hi, Samia.
Hello, Peggy.
How are you this morning?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I am on a high from Cabo.
Yeah, I bet.
This was by far one of the best. Um, yeah, we'll all talk about it. I hope everybody has FOMO. I don't know where you were and why you didn't come.
Well, because I was at a John Lee mastermind the week before and
Oh,
had to do some implementations.
I get it. I get it. So I hope you'll tell us some John Lee stuff at one point. That would be great. How do we get him as a speaker?
He charges $5,000 an hour, right?
I know he does, and so do a lot of other people charge a lot of money that have been on this. So that
Well,
share tips and tricks. And I don't know. I'm at the point where I just ask for everything.
are you going to Montreal?
No, I'm not.
No, because he's speaking there. Are you going to Barcelona?
I'm not. My travel is, I did so much travel. I literally, with the exception of I think 6 weeks total,
Mhm.
have been gone from California since
COVID?
April,
Oh,
yeah, of last year. So I am working on staying home, but staying home, but I'm not staying home.
yeah, you're all over the country. Don't
Uh,
don't don't
yeah,
fool yourself.
I'm all over the country. So,
Mhm.
and I got the retreat coming up, which
Yeah.
is like almost sold out. Annie, good morning.
Awesome. Well, I will that's the other reason I didn't go to Cabo is we're doing Barcelona and we're
Yeah,
doing Miami and
yeah.
Puerto Vallarta and looking,
What's Puerto Vallarta? Is that just vacation?
well, I am trolling for agents.
Trolling for agents.
That's
Aha.
that's not the right term,
I know, but that's okay.
but I'm looking to expand my global reach. I have a
Okay.
group from Mexico City joining, and another group from Mexico City possibly joining. So, you know,
Wonderful. That's amazing. Well, I'll just put it out to you. My good friend Marge, she's got several properties in Puerto Vallarta, one of which is a beautiful house that sits on the hill overlooking the ocean. It comes with a cook in the morning, a pool. It's
oh,
rented out all the time. So I don't know what your
this is
accommodation.
my last year of my timeshare there. So
Oh, you have a
we have
timeshare.
a
Okay.
timeshare in Vidanta and they have the Cirque du Soleil now. So it's getting too big for us. So
Ah,
we
got
prefer
it.
a smaller, like your friend's place would be great.
Yeah, it's excellent. Kevin, look what I'm drinking out of.
Yeah,
Kevin and Stacy gave me this mug like 3 years ago,
nice.
and it just makes me feel when I'm missing everybody. I love the shape, and I look at Ennis, Texas on it, and it just makes me feel fantastic. So, Peggy, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How's
How
everybody doing?
everybody's great.
Good. Good to see you, Peggy. Good to see you, Kevin and Stacy. It was such a good time. Such
Wasn't
a
it?
good time. It was. It was definitely, definitely. I've been to Build, I've been to EXPCon every year. There was something different about this year.
That's what I was just saying. It's I don't know, it's a feeling that I've kind of never had before, if you know what I mean. And
Mm-hmm.
Jean and I were talking. I mean, events are great. And every time I'm at an event, Mickey, mwah, mwah. Every time I'm at an event, I always say, this is really good. This is really good. But I can say that in over 20 years of going to every event out there, this by far blew me away. And I can't wait to hear from all of you and the feedback and share it with everybody. Mickey, how are you? Let's get her to unmute. Hey,
You hear me?
it's a little low.
I've moved my computer around, so I'm adjusting still.
How's the new grandma going?
It's been so much fun. I'm exhausted, but it's fun.
I know there's no way that you were going to pick CABO over grandbabies. I'm not even going to, you know, try and say anything about that. So we got Jason there. Hey, Jason, how are you?
Waking up slowly. It's early still.
Give me a break. I had to get up at 4:30. I'm back in California. I don't want to hear anything if somebody's getting.
Yeah, I'm only an hour ahead of you,
Yeah,
so
I know. I
still,
know.
still getting over my cold that caught me the very last day at Cabo after everything ended.
This
I,
is one of the first trips I didn't get sick at.
I pretty much slept all of Saturday.
Oh,
A
did you?
sleeping 17 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, everybody's just so like run down of going places and doing things. And Sarah's in the house. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Oh my gosh, what a fantastic week. What a fantastic week.
Yeah. I think we're all just kind of
Yeah.
like, you know, waking up here and I don't know about you guys, but I came home really exhausted. I mean, it was y'all know me, I always go nonstop anyways. But this was kind of like I was on such a high from this. I couldn't get over it. Hey, Grace. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Grace had to take trains, planes, and automobiles almost to
Me
get
too.
home. She
Me
was,
too, Peggy.
who's talking? I can't hear who
Oh,
it is.
it's Eva. Getting
Oh,
home was like a 24-hour trip.
yeah. You and Grace.
Yeah, whew, 24 hours. I was
Yeah.
happy to get home.
Grace had a flight and ended up going to New York.
Oh, I wish I was on your flight. That would have worked out well for me.
But
I went to
I took
Boston.
the energy from the whole week and I rolled it up into that night. And there was nothing stopping me from getting home. And it was the energy and the determination that really started from the week that took me to the very end. And I'm going to take the energy that I got from the whole week. And I think what made everything so special that whole week was everybody's energy. It was palpable. You could taste it, the energy all over the place. Everybody was happy, willing to share information. And it was really very exciting. Besides the speakers, it was the people.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thanks, Grace. I'm glad you're home. Okay. Sarah, can you show that video that I sent you? Did you see the text I sent you? Probably didn't even see it. Sarah's like, what are you talking about? What video?
Well, I've had my phone on Do Not Disturb, so let me see.
Oh,
If you're gonna be on screen this morning. Huh.
if you can,
Let me think on it for a minute. I'm gonna
Okay.
have to leave about 20 till.
Okay.
I have an appointment this morning to show a house, go maybe sell a house. So let me see what I can do.
Okay, if you can, that's great. It's no big deal.
Right.
All right. Well, for those of you that are on the call, Dee Dee, how are you?
Hi. Hi, Peggy. I'm doing fine. Thank you for sharing last week's class. I got to see Sarah on there. I saw Pam. So I saw you, of course, and that was so much fun. And when you left the phone on a little bit, I was hoping you leave it on longer because it was nice to just be a fly on the wall. It was so good. I can see the energy that I believe Grace was talking about.
Yeah.
You can see it, you can capture it, and boy, next year I have to be there. I must be there. It was really nice to see. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. It really turned out to be a great group. And that's really kind of, before we just jump into this, I've been thinking about this and I was like, okay, what am I going to say? I'm going to say it's a great event. I'm going to say this. And I've been saying that forever, as a team leader, CEO running a franchise, right? Some of us have all been there. We know what that's like. You are responsible to be the cheerleader in the room. No matter whether you like the event or not, you're responsible to be that cheerleader. I was thinking about this and I was like, okay, what can I relate this to? It's kind of like when your friend or family member has a baby, right? And they think the baby is the most adorable thing in the world. And you're like, oh my God, that poor child. I mean, seriously, sometimes you just have to fake it. This was by far the absolute best event I've been to. And what made it different, because y'all are sitting there going, okay, really? What made it different and special, and I know people are going to agree with this and chime in on their own, is that there were so many agents putting on events in their rooms, in their suites, in the morning, at night, masterminds at the pool, in other restaurants. You could not go to all of them. I'm not talking about the speakers that Brent brought in with Jean. Those were mind-blowing. I'm talking about like at Eva. Eva brought even her daughter Kobe. Eva is in New York area, and her daughter Kobe is out here on the West Coast with me. They brought New York to Cabo, and they did a morning mastermind breakfast. Jean and I were invited to speak. Jean did his napkin presentation. Eva, it was brilliant. You had treats there that you could not even get anywhere else in the world. So before we jump into this excitement, Sarah's going to just play a video. It's real quick. It's no big deal, but I would love for you guys just to pump up the energy here a little bit this morning. Thank you, Sarah. She's my tech. She brought her husband, Dwayne, there. Oh my God. I hope you guys can meet Dwayne.
He's so precious.
Beyond. We all want to steal him.
Well, he's not for stealing or selling or anything.
Borrow.
Right. Hang on. Uno momento. I said I was ready.
Peggy, is Sarah's hubby the one that let you on the bulldozer?
Yes.
He was there. I saw him sitting next to Sarah in the room, and I was wondering, okay, that's the same gentleman. Okay, cool.
That's the one who taught me how to drive a bulldozer.
Peggy, give me just another minute. I apologize.
That's okay. I'm going to just say hi to Tucker real quick then. Hey, Tuck.
Hey, y'all. Wasn't that a blast? And
Yep.
I love that napkin presentation.
Oh my God.
Y'all, there must have been 40 plus people, plus or minus people in that room. And we've seen Jane do it before, but I have to tell you, this was the best one yet, Peggy.
Yeah.
Tucker, I suggested it and I wasn't even there. Did anybody film it?
Yes,
I
did
have it.
film it, and
Yes.
I've passed it out to a lot of people. Sammy, anybody who wants, just put your emails in and I'll get it out to you today.
That'd be great.
Definitely.
I've been asking
Definitely.
for it. Thanks, Annie.
Yeah, the only
Thank
Share it
you.
with every agent. Share it with everyone.
That's my
the
hope.
only
To be
the
shared.
only downer to that meeting was Kevin. He just he was a piece of work, I have to tell you.
Well,
Hey, HR is still looking for you, Tucker.
I never liked you, buddy.
Annie, you can post that in the Wake Up Wednesday group. The video.
Can I?
Yeah, you can. I'll talk to you later.
Is it too big?
I don't know.
I can share it, right?
Yeah, you can share it in the group.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll work on that. But I'll also get everybody's email just in case.
Perfect.
I'd love
And
to get it as soon as you can. Thank you.
And I have to tell you, Eva asked Jean to do the napkin presentation. And at first he was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to do the new one yet. And so, see, great minds are all thinking alike. I'm definitely, ooh, that's right. Peggy, you got it. I could have auctioned those off. There were people fighting over those pieces of paper there.
Oh my
After
gosh.
the fact, my husband went up and said, Jean, do you think I could have that piece of paper? And he went to, the hostesses.
Yeah, I
Eva,
went to
do you
Eva.
mind? Yeah. So do you mind? And So
Yeah,
I
but
actually frame it
it-
in my office. You'll see it behind me when we get on.
Oh,
so
cool.
I said to Colby, "Where are my sheets?" And she said, "Oh, somebody wanted them, so I gave it to them."
Yeah.
So it's you, Peggy?
You'll see them
Not
every
me,
Wednesday
Peggy.
morning.
Not
You'll
Peggy.
see it every Wednesday morning. Yes.
That was, yeah, I had them on the back of the thing, and my daughter said, "Oh, somebody asked me for them, so I gave it to them." I looked at her, and she goes, "Are you mad at me?" I go, "No, I'm not
Aw.
mad."
I bet you I can get you some more. I'd be willing to bet
Okay.
you.
Like, get
Sarah,
photocopies, get photocopies.
yeah, we
Yeah,
could do that,
exactly.
scan them.
That would be
Sarah,
great if you could
did
scan
you
them.
find that? Oh, there's Katie. Were you able to get that, or Katie, the tech person's coming in? Okay, let's just jump in while they're trying to do that, because if they get the video, they do. If they don't, they don't. Annie, I want to go right to you first because you brought a guest. You're building out New York, and we're all, oops. Oh, let's see. Am I going to this? Hold on 1 second. My VA made this. I have posted it. I don't know how many of you guys saw it. Oh, it's got no sound, but it's okay.
I'm
It-
trying. Give me a second.
Hi, Katie. The
Hi.
reinforcement got called in here. But Annie, let's give it 1 second here. If you can do it, don't worry about it. We're really kind of all relaxed here. I have so much going on with everything. Look at that beautiful. That was sunrise on
That is
Sunday.
gorgeous.
That was while we were all walking out to the beach to go to the sunrise service. Another thing that I really love about this company is that whatever your religious beliefs are, whether you are religious, not religious, Catholic, Jewish, Protestant, Episcopal, go through everything. It is so amazing when you can just come together and watch a sunrise and be grateful and either meditate or pray or whatever you call it. Look at that.
That is so cool.
Isn't-
Who's that in there? That is so cool.
I'm not really sure.
I
Okay.
saw Phil Stringer post the fireworks too in that same area, right? Is that where you
Yes.
guys watched the fireworks? It was beautiful.
So this is what you kind of miss, guys. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of FOMO here, and I love seeing these
I
photos.
just saw Coach Bert. Coach Bert was there. I see.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Thank you,
beautiful.
Katie, for doing that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so I want to jump in, and I know Sarah has got to leave at 20 of. Sarah, tell us what you're thinking about this event. Talk to us. What are some of your biggest takeaways?
Look, you brought home for me.
The biggest takeaways. Oh my goodness. All right. So I'm going to tell you what, when you go, you need to go at least 1 day early and you need to stay 1 day after. We tried to be very abbreviated in our time because we're getting ready to go to Cancun on Friday. So call me nuts. You know I am. But it was that one-on-one, or not one-on-one time, but that small group time that we were able to have. Jean gave us one nugget, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. For all of you readers out there, when you're reading a book and you highlight something or you earmark the page, what he does is he'll go to the back of the book or the front of the book where he has a blank page and he'll say, okay, page 29, and then he'll write his action step or what that meant to him. So instead of thumbing through all the pages, he can go to that back page and look at all of the notes he took on that book. Really thought that was a very active way to retain information that you wanted to retain. The proximity that we had with so many people is over the top. The quality of the speakers they bring in is phenomenal for the money that you pay.
Oh, it's so
crazy.
inexpensive.
And one thing that Ed Milet said that really blew me away. I mean, this guy's a billionaire with a B. He donates all of his speaking fees to charities.
Yeah.
Talk about a servant leader. I feel like he is in the moment with us every time I've heard him, which is the second time I've heard him.
Mhm.
Gary Brecka, and I'm going to let Peggy Page talk about Gary Brecka. He was phenomenal. So, Peggy, take it away.
Go ahead, Peggy.
It was the second time we've seen Gary Brecka as well, because he was a year and a half ago at Build.
Mhm.
And that was my first time I had heard him speak. And after that, I started following his podcasts and his different shorts that he did. And my husband and I both have always been very medically adept. Let's put it that way. Our whole family's in pharmaceutical sales, which 20 years ago was like a lot of keys to good health. Right now, not so much. And Gary Brecka, of course, left pharmaceutical sales, or no, not sales, but he left the field of examining medical records for insurance companies and saying, since I know what it takes to live a healthy life, this is what I'm suggesting, or that's an very, very abbreviated. But a year and a half ago, when we saw Gary, he talked about DNA and how your DNA tells a lot about what your body can accept or not accept. And so when we left there, we had our DNA done, and come to find out, my husband has of the 4 DNA strands that are that really do affect your health, he has 3 of them that are negative, which means he was doing a lot of things for his health that we thought were benefits and were not. So the biggest thing was we found out that he needs to take methylated vitamins, which is a vitamin that if you have this one gene, which believe it or not, 60% of all people have, you cannot absorb vitamin B. Because of that, can you imagine not having life with vitamin B? The whole, from 1 to 12. I mean, that's energy, it's skin, I mean, you name it. So he started on these methylated vitamins and a couple other things. And that's the thing with Gary Brecka. He's not going to sell you things. He has something like water he sells, but you go somewhere else to get your supplements. He tells you exactly what to look for, but he is not let me tell you what to do so I can sell you something. That is not it at all. And that's why I trust him wholly. So anyway, my husband got on these methylated vitamins. His blood work, his function in life skyrocketed just from that one little twist. So instead of taking a regular B complex, he took a methylated vitamin B. So with that, I was very excited to shake his hand and to tell him how thankful I was for his speech a year and a half ago. And he called out my husband during the thing, saying,
did?
"Hey, he's here." Yeah, he called him out. And of course, my husband, he's such a ham bone, stood up, started dancing, and it was kind of cool what you were saying, Peggy, as far as and Sarah, about the proximity to so many leaders. I mean, it was a case of, again, I've been to so many events. Gene and Brent were right there. I mean, 24/7. I don't know how those men did it. They and their wives, energy, energy, energy. And anyone who wanted to ask them a question from whatever it was about your business, about your health, about mindset, they were right there. You could ask them anything. And, it was so funny that the last night we were there, my husband, this is the first time my husband has ever bought a ticket. He always goes with me, but he does his own thing, like in Vegas and, whatever. So this time he was there, obviously, and attended everything. The last night we were there, he woke up in the morning. He said, "I had the weirdest dream." And I'm the kind of person that I always listen to dreams when people tell me or when I have them myself, because there's always a meaning. Always. I don't care. There's always a meaning to your dream. And he woke up because I had the weirdest dream. He goes, "I had a dream that Brent sent me to Home Depot." And he says, he told me that I needed to buy a bunch of shoehorn grinders. And I said, "What is that?" He goes, "I have no idea." He goes, "There's no such thing as a shoehorn grinder." He goes, "But I'm looking around Home Depot looking for these things so I can take them back to Brent." So I said, "That is so weird." The next day we got home, I'm unpacking my suitcase, I'm putting everything away, doing some laundry, this and that. I go out to the garage to put my walking shoes away because I keep them in the garage. And there's a shoehorn there. I said, "Matt, I figured out the meaning of your dream. Brent is telling us we have to get our shoes on, get out and meet people. We need to grind it. We need to get that shoehorn going and get out and walk and meet people. That's the key to our business." And he goes, "That's cool." So of course, every morning we're seeing that shoehorn hanging in the garage now, going, "Brent, thank you, Brent, thank you. We're gonna get that shoehorn grinder and we're gonna grind it." So
That's a great story.
isn't that
That's
funny?
Yeah. What were some of the other speakers that you really enjoyed?
Well, I liked Rob Flick.
Okay. Talk a little bit about Rob Flick.
Well, Rob Flick was recruited by Gene immediately because Gene knew that if he was going to help expand, he needed recruiters. And one of the first people he called was Rob Flick, who had retired from all of his recruiting at KW. And he had been retired, are you guys ready? 20 years and making a lot of money from KW. And Gene brought him to his lake house and recruited him. And so I know the backstory, but he did a presentation there. And what people don't understand about Rob Flick, and I want all of you to understand this, there were a lot of presenters that said, "Hey, I've got to sell them, $100 million of, I have to have a huge team and I have to do all this to recruit." You don't. You just need to get your shoes on and get out there and talk to people. And he's very direct. He hasn't sold a home in 30 years, maybe 35. Not about selling homes. It's about a relationship and being forthright with them. And he did, and he's not afraid to get in their faces. I had breakfast with him, and he's not afraid to. I mean, some of you guys know Rob Flick. I mean, he's not afraid to just tell you, "Wait, what? You're willing to give away 100 grand? You want to stay there because you like your broker? Okay." He's not afraid to just say it. And I put all 3 on there, all videos. They're out there on our chat, guys. Download them.
Thank you.
Beach Drive is first, then I think Spring. And I recorded Springs because, coming from real and coming to now starting over. And I had the blessing to be at a breakfast with her as well, and Jean. And, she attracts because of who she is.
So Annie, will you tell everybody who Spring Benson is?
Yeah, Spring came from Real. She was their top recruiter. She had 3,300 people. She was making $1 million plus in their attraction mode. And she was approached by Veronica Figueroa, and it took a year. And she came over and said, "I'm not with the right company." And she brought 70 of her team members over, and I think has since attracted 90, she's up to 90. So her goal is to get back to 3,000 as quick as, if not 10,000, as fast as she can. And, Jean talked about, hey, you've already got a presence. You already have a presence where you are and what you do. People follow you. Do what you do, right? Everybody do what they do and do, to attract. But I love the fact that the third presentation, Rob Flick just goes out there and talks to people. That's it. That's it. And he has trained people that are not real estate people to attract and build a downline to the point where they're retired. I think one was a soccer coach, right? So don't get in your head, you've got to, be this top realtor. You don't.
And the thing too that I want people to listen, and I just don't want you to take away that we're all recruiters. This is a company of productivity as well. When you hear the numbers that agents are doing, that our top 250 teams are doing more volume and more units than some of the independent companies out there, those are the things that you want to think about and start to realize, hey, this isn't just about attraction. This is about building our business. Grace, you had your hand up. You gotta just unmute yourself, Grace.
Sorry.
That's okay.
My hand up when she was talking about recruiting. Yesterday, I texted you, Peggy, about this woman. She called me in the morning about service that I have done at my house. And we were just talking and she's like, "Oh, what do you do? You know, and I was telling her about EXP and she goes, "Oh, can you take my number and call me?" She goes, "I'm looking to change my career." And it wasn't, it was just a conversation and we just clicked. And I mean, it was just as if we were best friends on the phone instantly. And that's all it was. That took, "Can I have a phone call? Can you call me? Can we talk more about this?" I'm I'm a newbie here joining EXP. So, and everybody was saying, once the ball gets rolling, it just keeps rolling. And I got a little taste of that yesterday.
That's great. And we'll
Traction.
do that call. We'll make sure that we get her all the information. So if it can happen to someone brand new, you have no idea where your next, partner is going to come from. Eva, I want to jump back up to you because you had your daughter there, you had your son there. You give us some of your big takeaways. I mean, obviously, thank you again for hosting that breakfast in your room in the morning. But what were some of your takeaway and top speakers?
Well, I think my biggest takeaway from this event, as well as all of the ones that I've been to since I've been at EXP, is the accessibility to the speakers. For example, Gary was literally standing outside of the hall and
Trying to go get to the men's room.
yeah, it was unbelievable. Gary Breck was just kind of literally there for, probably 45 minutes more, maybe, as people gathered around him and he answered questions. But, at my old company, not even going to say the name, I was there for a very long time and I was a top producer and I never got that close to some of the top brass, let's say, as I have at EXP and especially at the CABO event this year and last year, but especially this year. Like you said, Brent always, right there, Gene right there, all of the speakers, almost all the speakers were so accessible. And I think that brings, everything to a different level. I want to be in a room where I'm growing and I'm meeting people that are much smarter than me and are thinking creatively and are wealth minded, which is, a really big thing for me. I have my daughter and my son in my business now. And, my success is now connected, or their success is now connected to me. And being around people that are thinking about, that's why when you say we're not recruiters or attractors, I'm not, I'm a realtor, but however, I am looking at wealth now. I'm not looking at grinding at this for the next 30 years. And I don't want that for my kids either. I want to work hard. I want to work smart. And I think that, that was a big takeaway for me. And, I just loved what Gary Brecker had to say. Peggy already went through it, but that also was my second time seeing him. I thought the lineup of speakers, both, agents that joined the company and the keynotes were amazing.
That's great. Thank you, Kevin. And then I'm going to jump down to Trish and Jason there. How are you, Kevin?
Oh, I'm good.
Kevin played a joke on me and the rest of the world. So I did not fall off
not so
the
much
horse.
on Peggy, but maybe on the rest of the world.
That wasn't very nice.
It wasn't.
Don't give him a
Oh,
hard
but it
time.
was-
Wait. Don't give him a hard time. He's already, it's okay. All right, Kevin, what was your takeaway? Don't play jokes. No.
No, so what I was going to talk about is you brought up production. I think it was Jay Kinder that said that his organization does more production. Think about this. Jay Kinder's organization, the one organization, 1,300 people, does more than, or whatever his is. He put it on the screen. Does more than Real altogether. You want to
Do you
talk
know
production?
Jay? I'm so glad you brought up Jay Kinder because if you guys know Jay, he's coming in board shorts, a t-shirt, and I've never seen the man wear shoes on stage. And everyone said that he was one of the top motivating speakers. And Kevin, for you to bring up that point, that really think about that. One team does more than an entire brokerage. Kevin, what else were some of your takeaways? Where'd you go? Did you just appear there? Oops, you're muted.
He's back. You're muted, buddy.
I know. I don't like to be disruptive. I don't like to clear my throat when others are talking. Maybe a little jab at you, Tucker.
Oh, stop. Keep going, keep going.
So, gosh, I'm not that emotional of a person, but this was definitely one of those events that had me very emotional. It was everybody that spoke was spot on. If you've never heard Ed Mylett, we've listened to him a lot, but never in person. And I would pay more to see him than a lot of other people that I heard speak at bigger events. So
I heard that a lot of people would like him better than Tony Robbins.
Yeah, well, I'm
I'll
one of
be the
those.
one to say it. It's okay. Tony's good, but there's something about Ed Mylett.
That's right. But anyway, it's, Ed's really his point is you never know the ripple effect that you have by the way you treat people or what you do for somebody. And that's kind of my takeaway. The EXP is what we're doing for somebody. It's not for us. I mean, sure, you do it for enough people. It's old Zig Ziglar. You help enough people get what they want, you get what you want.
Right.
But remember this: if you do it for one or two people and you change their life, it's what God put you here for. So that's my takeaway.
That's great. Jason and Trish, another husband and wife that are in business together, and I commend couples that work together and stay together.
Not easy, but
yeah.
I'm going to go first because I'm going to need to jump in a few minutes.
Right.
The speakers were all amazing. I think I took like 8 or 10 pages of notes the first day. Usually writing by hand versus taking a picture helps sink it in and helps me retain it. So I can't tell you how many times I've actually heard people say, write it down. Don't take a picture, don't type it, but write it. The other thing is you can watch all these videos of all the sessions online. Brent posts them. But what you can't do is have those run-ins at breakfast, run-ins at the pool as you're walking by, sitting on the beach, talking to people. There's a reason why there's only sessions from 9 a.m. to 12:30. It's Veronica was having breakfast next to us, and Trish goes, I'm going to go talk to her. I've got a question, a very specific question. This isn't, oh my God, I'm such a fan. This is how do I? And Veronica goes, here's my contact info. Let's strategize this. You don't get that at other companies. I've never seen it anywhere else. So that's the power of going. That for me is the reason why I go, is networking. And everything else is extras.
So in all those notes, give us some of your top 3 ahas from different speakers. Did you have a favorite? We all love Ed Mylett, but what about some of our agents who got up on stage and shared?
I find a lot of times that these types of conferences have a theme, and they might not be broadcast or pushed in your face, but it's for where you are personally and where you're trying to go. So, for me, it was very specific to what we're struggling with, which is we're at the 1-yard line. How do we push it over to the score? And there were a lot of individual little nuggets. I literally will grab the book and go through them if you want. But it's
I would love some of the nuggets.
Okay.
I think some people would really like that. While you're doing that, Tucker, did Tucker leave? I know he had
I'm
a
here. I'm here.
Tucker, give me 2 minutes. I mean, not 2 minutes. Give me a minute real quick. What were some of your biggest takeaways? Because I know you have to leave early today.
I just love the event, and I'm just sick that this is the first CABO event that I've been to. I brought in a new agent as a result of being in CABO, made some real estate deals, and Sarah, I'm going to introduce you to my client that lives in Lexington. So it was
Perfect.
fabulous.
Perfect. Anything else, Tucker? What was any one speaker that stood out in your mind besides Ed Milet? I think the agents were awesome.
I think that Rob Flick, who is my sponsor, had an
Oops, I'm having trouble with internet.
showed everybody, and this gets back to Gene and Rob, do as I say and as I do. You don't need to perfect the business. I mean, it's just about making 20 calls to close one deal, and don't be dissuaded by 19 no's.
Right.
It
Keep
was
going.
it was outstanding.
Thanks, Tucker.
Thank
right.
you so much.
Jason.
So my
Lundy.
favorite nugget was from Casey Council. And it's as you're asking questions to agents, the first one that you go down the line with on this was, why do you get up in the morning? Why are you going to work? And if they don't sell money, if they don't say money, it's, oh, I'm to help people. Oh, then why aren't you volunteering? Why are you selling real estate and making money? The whole point is to lead them back to money, because what the ultimate closing line for her was, the first thing I wrote down, it's basically, is it going to cost you more by not going to EXP than staying where you are? And I've done the math with people, and I've seen $75,000, $85,000. And I had someone, oh, you'll never beat me. I'm at 95.5, you're 80.20. I go, do you have a cap? They go, no. I go, we're going to beat you, and probably by a lot, because I guarantee you're spending more than $16,000 at your 5% split. She goes, oh, never. And it was a lot of money, and she never came. It's like, why are you doing this? Why are you killing yourself? So it's tying it back to an emotion for people. And that's a lot of my reoccurring theme here is you have to make it for the person. It could be for you. Gene said this, I don't know how many times. It's not about why you came. No one cares. It's about them. And that's true in real estate sales. It's not about you. That was my reoccurring theme that I kept getting.
Cool. Anything else? You took tons of notes. I know you.
Little book.
Yeah.
No, that's the main
That's
thing
your biggest
was
one?
in here.
Okay.
Yeah, it all flows back to the same thing.
Cool. Eva, you had your hand up.
I was just gonna add that.
Bye,
Hey,
Jason. Thanks.
I was just gonna add, I think it was Gene who said it about, you don't need to close it. When you're talking with somebody, don't be afraid of the three-way conversation. You're there to get them to the next place, and then let somebody help you. Don't hesitate to ask for that help. That was a big thing for me, because I think I am always, like Jason said, we're at the 1 yard line. How do we get the touchdown? Or how do we get the finish? I'm always looking at that instead of just getting them in front of the right person.
Exactly. And that will happen when you get them in front of the right person. And we talked about this just quickly. I reminded everybody on Gene's General's calls, 2 things. He doesn't want to know about them in advance. He doesn't want you to say, oh, Gene doesn't have to do this. Because a lot of times we like to edify Gene that, oh, he's making, $1 trillion a month and he's got a yacht and he's got no, they don't care. They want to know how maybe an extra $5,000 a month is going to help them, or forget about the monthly income because there's only 10% of the people here doing that. They want to know how we're going to help them with their business. And the other thing that Gene was saying, and he says it all the time, if you get on a call with him, shut your mouth and let him talk. And this is not about you. Even if you're just on an everyday phone call with someone, don't tell them about your story. They don't care. We want to get into a relationship and build rapport. And I think every single person that was up on stage or in the rooms, that's what everybody's talking about, is how do we get into rapport? How do I build that relationship? And again, if you are nervous about that, any one of us on this call will help you. Peggy, I'm getting to you, Trish, I promise.
Hey, I just wanted to say one thing. Sarah and I talked about this after the fact, but when Veronica Figueroa was up there, she had us go through the motions of close your eyes, get into this headspace that, she wanted you to kind of dream. And she said, when was the last time you were brave?
Great question.
Yeah, really good question. And, as a woman who I believe I'm very strong, I'm very motivated, I'm very opinionated. I've had a lot of experience with being put in a position that I had to think on my feet. And I had to say, I don't remember that time when I felt like I was brave. And so I had to think to myself, maybe I'm not dreaming big enough. Maybe I'm not putting myself in that position to need something outside of myself, because I feel like I have it all. Sarah was the same way. She goes, I felt the same thing. I just feel like I know what my steps are. I know what I have to do. I know how to handle this. And so she and I, we were talking about it, saying, maybe we need to take out all the stops and just go be more vulnerable so that we can be brave.
Now, see, I think you are brave. I look at every single person on this call and I think you're brave and you're strong. And sometimes we don't see that. So Peggy, I'm just going to go a little deeper. What would that look like to be a little bit more brave? What would one of the first things you do?
Well, probably it would be, for me, is going back to that shoehorn grinder. I'll get up in the morning sometimes and I'm like, you know what? I have so much to do today, but the getting yourself dressed with makeup, with the right outfit on, with the right mindset to get out to do these things outside. It's really easy to stay inside of I have a beautiful home. I have a beautiful surrounding. I live in Florida. I feel like I have a really good atmosphere, and it's easy to get on a Zoom call and go, hey, everything's great. But when you get out and you see people face to face, for me, I'm always in the position of saying, I don't need a lot of burden put on my back today because I've got a lot to do. So to get out and go face to face with people and maybe face their burdens and put more on my back, that's a fear for me because I already have an agenda.
Okay. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that. I got a couple of people that Trish has been on here patiently. She came on with Jason, her husband, and I talked to them yesterday and I said, would you guys please jump on? So Trish, hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. You have been to many events. You're also blessed to be in some rooms and tables that every single person here can be at. There is no secret society, guys. We all deserve a seat at the table. So, Trish, tell me what some of your takeaways were.
Two big things. One is that it's, and go back to the basics. Sitting there watching Jean do the napkin presentation and, tell me about yourself, the napkin presentation reminded me that I looked for some other things, other scripts and things to do and say and kind of reinvent the wheel. And it reminds me of new agents. who join, get into real estate, and they're given, let's say they go to Fast Cap and they're told, do this, here's the scripts, whatever. And then they go and tweak it because it doesn't feel authentic or whatever. And so they lose the magic of that formula.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
I lost the magic of that formula and the power of that formula. So going back to that basic, and I recommend everybody watch that over and over and do it. Jean has been successful for how many decades and how many
Right.
thousands of people. There's just no arguing with that.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know why I didn't do it. I did it and then I went to something else. It's dumb. But I'm going back to it. And then the other thing was, and I think Jason touched on this, to be in the room, in the setting where you can make magic happen because of who you're talking with.
Mhm.
And it's a conversation with somebody you've known a long time, or meeting somebody new, or putting that together. I mean, you can't get that from a video.
No.
And so get your ass there.
CABO is the registration is already up, and you can reserve your room now. You do not have to pay for it till the end of this year. And this is our last CABO, guys. This one coming up is the last CABO. Now, there will be other events. Not sure where they're going to be held, but I just have a feeling this intimacy of what we have being there is, pretty special. And if that hotel is a little pricey, Annie, just real quick, where'd you stay? You stayed where?
Well, they
away?
were booked up by the
They
time
were
I
sold
made,
out.
and the nice thing is they made a relationship with Hyatt Place just down the street. It was a 5-minute walk. It's easy, safe. It was fine, and you had beach access as well from it. So 105 a night, guys. The same exact room, the same exact room. The breakfast was horrible. So no, great service and everything. So we stayed there, and then I would. The one thing I had, and I told him, I said, because you'd have to go over to, and get the bracelet for
You
the
have to buy
day
an
pass, the
entrance,
day
like
pass for 125. It was still cheaper,
125.
$230 total per day. But the day pass, they wouldn't let me in, and my agent I brought until 8 a.m. Well, they're so slow checking you in. It's 8:30. Now I'm in line to get into the room, and I haven't had coffee or breakfast. And I've paid for coffee and breakfast. So I wasn't a fan that they need to open it up earlier, because I had to sneak around through the beach.
She figured it out. That's the whole thing.
And I went in so I could go to the 7 a.m. appointments.
Where
That was
there's a will,
grateful.
there's a way.
Yeah.
In the
So
beach way.
anyway, I was hoping someone had taken a picture of the CABO join.
I
QR
think
code.
I'm
Did
sure
someone
it's there.
post it?
We'll get it.
It is not on Brent's website, guys. I'm at Brent's website. It's CABO's not there.
Okay, I think I have it, and I know Sarah has it.
We need to post that for everyone, because if you do want to go ahead and do it, they had more people sign up before we left than they've ever had before. So this will fill up. And again, you can stay at the Hyatt Place across the street, and it's not a big deal.
Right.
It's not at all.
And you can sneak in on the beach
Yeah.
before 8. But I think we need to have a conversation with them. I don't know. And then Suzanne stayed down the street. Suzanne, you had your hand up. Hi. We haven't heard from
Hi,
you.
I was just gonna say that I was able to stay down the street, and we were able to get in by 7:30 pretty much every morning, but it was kind of a pain in the butt that you had to go get a new band each day. I don't know why they didn't just, if I paid for the week, give me, and say, green is Tuesday and this is for, whatever.
Because their security is really, really tight there. and people could be slipping those bands off. I've got to say everything, the customer service, everything there is improved. They've redone the hotel. They're in the process of redoing the hotel. But I'm glad you got to get in before 7:30. You'll have to tell us that secret. What was some of your takeaways, Suzanne?
Well, this was my first Cabo trip or whatever. Just about the energy, and everybody was talking about belief, belief, belief. I mean, I loved the Girls with Grit who had said, you know,
Thank you for
4 years
bringing that.
ago or whatever, that they were going to be up on that stage. And I told my upline at that point, I'm going to be back next year with, you know, with teammates. Right now, I have a couple people potential, but nobody on my team right now. So it was just really a lot of energy, and to show that anybody can do it. I mean, I don't mean to make fun of, but like the girl from the
Housewife?
California Housewives, yes. I don't watch that, but I don't know. It just has a certain image when you hear about it. And I'm like, seeing her up on stage, she did not fit that. And to know that she had built an organization within, you know, EXP, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, type of thing. So that it was neat to see the different variety of people, and you know, for spring to come across after being a top dog where you are. I mean, I'm like, okay, there's definitely stuff here that even more than what I think is here. If, you know, people that have already built their organization somewhere else want to start from scratch.
It's cool. And Spring Benson is going to be on Wake Up Wednesday. We're just coordinating the dates with her. So that'll be exciting to have her here too. Trish.
Thanks. Sorry. Quick point. Bring someone.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
I didn't. Shame on me. 2 of my front lines came, and one of them brought a guest, and she's joining.
Oh, fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And I know a good friend of mine brought like this broker and somebody else, and they're joining. There's nothing more powerful than being in this group, not just for us, but for them.
Thank you.
I agree, Trish.
You're so right. Pam, you're sitting there pretty quiet down there. Don't think you brought your whole family for vacation. Your husband was there. It was wonderful hanging out with them. What was your whole takeaway? Was this your first event? No, you went.
This
You
was my
went-
first Cabo.
Yes, first to Cabo.
I've been to EXPCon, I've been to Build, and this was by far my favorite event. Partially because I did get to bring my husband and my daughter with me. And that was really cool because, you know, we come home from these things, and even some Wake Up Wednesdays and just coaching with Peggy, we're so excited and like try to explain to our family like what we're doing, and just for them to have the opportunity to go and see it, you know, for themselves and see it in person. And my husband came to our Wake Up Wednesday with me, so he got to, you know, hear Jean speak and some of those things. So just really powerful to share that with them, and even just some of the things that they got from it. But for me, in my what I guess I would take away from it, I always love the speakers. You know, EXP always produces some of the best speakers. Brent, Jean, they always put some of the best speakers out in front of us. So, you know, I'm sitting here, I have page after page after page of notes, you know. But one of the things that was different, I guess, for me in taking notes this year was something that Jean said was, don't just write it down, but put an action to it, you know. And so I have my notes this year are full of little asterisks that say urgent, you know, take action and do this and do that. So that was something that changed for me. But I think some of the biggest things is just the conversations that you have and the meetings that you have outside of conference. And I think that that's been true at every event that I've been to. You hear people say that it's about the rooms that you get into, but you know, you can be in a room or you can be in a room.
Yes.
And this trip, I think I just really engaged a lot more with the people that were in those rooms instead of just sitting back and being in awe of it and just watching it and taking it all in. You know, ask the questions, engage the people, you know, so you can get everything you can get out of it, and you know, pour into the people that are in there with you as well. So but one of the one of the things I think resounding for me throughout the week, um Anna Powell made a comment when she was speaking on stage that she creates problems for herself just so that she has a problem she can solve. And that really hit me because um, I've been doing that myself lately because I'm getting ready to move to a new market. Totally, you know, I'm moving to Florida. So it's going to be very different from anything I've done before, real estate wise. You know, I've never been coastal or anything like that. And then on top of that, I have, you know, an organization that I'm growing and agents that I feel responsible for. And I've really just been stressing myself out over it. I don't really know why, even. Like, I've restarted my business 4 times. I know I'll be fine. I know I can do it. Like, I've proved it to myself. But it's really been stressing me out for some reason. Like, how am I going to keep up with all these people and build my business and, you know, all these things? And throughout the week, all these speakers, even though none of them really said it, it just hit me like I already have everything I need. You know, I don't need to be out there looking for the next big thing. Kind of like I think Trish was just saying, I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I don't need some magic formula, some new look. Just do what I know how to do, you know, and just get out there and do it consistently, you know. And I would say that that was probably the biggest thing for me, just, you know, having those conversations and reinforcing that, you know what to do, you're on the right track. Just sit down and focus and get it done, which is my theme for this year in my business is focus. So that's what I'm going to do.
Thank you. We all come back from these conferences with pages and pages of notes. And what I've had to do is I get so excited. I want to do it all and I can't. So go back over your notes. Pick 1 or 2 things that you want to do. That's all. Just 1 or 2. Because if you try doing all of it, it's not going to happen. It absolutely is not going to happen. Wow, this hour went fast. Is there anybody here that wants to add a little something? So
I want
Annie?
to thank you, Peggy. I want to thank you for all that you do. Everywhere we meet you, you're amazing and you draw us together, and keep doing what you're doing. We love you.
Oh, Annie, you make me cry. Thank you. I love it. I get energized by all of you guys. This Wake Up Wednesday, I know everyone says, oh my God, it's giving me so much. It's giving me that. You have no idea. Well, look at those hearts. You have no idea what this does for me. It fills my bucket every Wednesday morning. I love all of you. I know that some of you on this call are going to our retreat. If you can go, I think there's 4 opportunities left, possibly 5, depending upon sleeping arrangements. We've made it extremely affordable. It is $1,100. That does not include your plane fare, and you can drive, but it's $1,100. It gives you 3 full days of coaching. It gives you all of your food, and it gives you an amazing lake house, 2 lake houses to stay at. But most importantly, what you can't buy are the relationships that come out of this. So this is our 3rd year going. I can't get over all the new people coming, which is exciting. If there's anybody on this call that really wants to be there and you're struggling financially with it, let me know. But I can't wait to see you guys next week. Judy, I signed on late. What's the Google? I didn't see the chat. Annie, you're good at that.
What's Judy got in the chat? She just put a question in.
Peggy, are people bringing their families or their kids to their retreat, the retreat? I'm sorry.
No, this is,
Okay.
I should say that this isn't a family, but Dee Dee would love to talk to you about it. Let's figure out how we can get you. If we can call me,
I have
let-
Judy's question.
Thank you.
Peggy.
oh, you have Judy's question? What
Yeah,
was the
she
question?
was asking about the napkin presentation.
You put it in the chat, right, Annie?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, but if
Perfect.
you're having problems, just send me your email. I did email it
Oh,
to
Judy did put
everyone
her
who put it
email in
in,
it.
so
Yep.
just in case.
Yeah. Thank you, Peggy. I ditto what Annie said. Thank you.
You guys are amazing.
Thank you,
Take
Peggy.
one thing that you either learned on this call, that you weren't in Cabo, or you were at Cabo. Just try and implement that this week. I know I've got some things that I need to work on because there's a lot of stuff that came up with me. I always hate saying goodbye, but it's not goodbye. I will see you guys next week. You know how to reach me.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
very,
Have a
very
wonderful
much.
day.
Hey, Brad, how are you? He's quiet today in Canada.
Everybody have a great day.
Dee Dee, can
Thank
you
you,
stay
Peggy.
on? Do you want to stay on a
Wait.
minute?
Yeah, I can stay. Me? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. If anybody else wants to hear about the retreat, you can stay on. I'm going to end this recording. Stop recording.